Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. We are here on episode 11. As you guys can see, I have some new friends here who are co-hosting today with me. Jay is out sick, so hope you feel better, Jay. Sorry, but don't worry. I have even better co-hosts today. So I have with me here Arty and Brutus. You guys know them. They are no stranger to you guys here. So what we're going to talk about today is a little bit about kind of entrepreneurship, like how do we like make passive income through other things? How do we invest our money that we've created through trading? And to kind of talk to you guys about this, a lot of people have expressed interest in learning about what it is we do, what else we do. Some people were surprised to find out that we do other things, but of course we do. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And I wanted to let the guys kind of talk about it because each of us does something a little bit different. There's no right or wrong answer when it comes to what to do with your money. I think it's more about finding something you're passionate about, that you like, that fits your time and your like energy level as to what you can commit to that project or that investment. So there's so many different things you guys can be doing when it comes to finding some sort of financial freedom and helping build it. So let's get into it a little bit. I guess we can start with Brutus. Do you want to start first?
Yeah,
Like you
yeah.
just like, sat up in your seat, like you're like, let's like
Yeah,
you're ready.
I'll go first. So, first of all, investments, some kind of investment is always going to pay off. But I think first and foremost, something that's absolutely vital is to have active income. And active income is something that, you put in the time and you get paid off of the time that you've put in. So in terms of active income, we obviously have TTF. I also have my social media platforms, which are generating money, based off of the work that I put in. So if I don't show up to those things, then I'm not making any money. But I think everyone, I think social media in particular, something like YouTube, which pays just like per view, I think it's quite an easy thing to do if you experiment and you find the right audience or you find the right niche to kind of talk about. So having like a bit of a side project, which is making you money on the side, but it does require you to kind of actively do something, is obviously important. So I have my YouTube, which in all honesty, it doesn't really make very much, but it's actually enough to cover a lot of my bills, per month. So if I'm struggling in a trading month, or if things just aren't going to plan exactly, the YouTube will cover I think like my power and my water bills.
You won't starve and you won't freeze. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, that's fair.
So it just about covers that, and that's a really cool point to be at, because it's I'm not completely invested into my YouTube, but I've built it up to a certain level, which allows me to have the peace of mind, and that's really important, is having this active income that is separate from, I guess, the passive income, which if all else fails, you can still pay your water bill and so on. With how things are going right now in the markets, I think investments are even more kind of important than usual, because with huge discounts, this is the time where most people are struggling to have that income set aside in order to make investments. But if you are a person that has the saved income and you can put that into the different markets, it's a great time, to really capitalize. I think the most money is made during a recessionary, period in the market. So we've got, I've got some crypto that I, talk about. The stocks, I also have some money in stocks, which are a dividend paying stock, or stocks, which is a nice residual income as well. And that is kind of there regardless of how I perform that month. So that's another example of, even if the trading isn't working too well at the time, I've got the sources of income from things like my social media platforms, which are coming in regardless, as well as, dividend money. And it's really about like reducing your exposure as much as possible. I think if you have one stream that is your sole source of income, and obviously if something goes wrong, you're exposed to so much risk. Whereas if you have multiple different streams, you reduce that exposure. So some kind of social media platform or something that is generating you some money. I think like there's so many ways that you can do that these days with surveys, and there's all these kind of odd jobs you can do online, and investing some of the money that you're making from trading, or even some of the saved income that you have from your active job, and putting that into something that is giving you a residual income, like the dividend paying stocks. So that's that's kind of stuff that is right at the forefront. Once you have a bit of saved capital, so I've recently got involved with someone who deals with property, and
right, you talked
yeah,
about this on episode 1. How's that going?
Yeah, no, it's great. So I had the opportunity to essentially be like a silent investor. So all I had to do was just put money up. And
so nice. Can I have his number? I don't like
well,
a talkative investor. I want to be a silent one.
Yeah, it's really
really easy.
It's cool. It is cool.
It's a good way to get experience in it too, because real estate is totally different probably than what you're used to as far as trading, but a good learning experience for sure, and huge money there once you get the experience that you need in order to learn how to do it. So really, really like real estate, like that's on the top of my list too. Like if you guys get the opportunity to get into something like that, and I think that's global. Like Brutus, you're over in the UK, I'm in the US, Arty's in Poland, and I think everyone can agree, like, if you own property in any of those places or anywhere in the world, you're a property owner, you probably got money, like you got assets to hold on to, and that's key, like having an asset of something too as well. That's like your capital, think of it that way, and that's really important, I think. But
yes, I agree.
What's happening with silent partnership?
Well, so for full transparency, I was basically approached and asked for £20,000 that was going to be put into a renovation job. So it was kind of like a slightly rundown, place that was selling for significantly less than its surrounding houses. And the job was to renovate it and essentially sell it straight away. And the buyer had already agreed to buy it after the work had been done. So it was all completely packaged up really nicely. And it was 20,000 for a 20% return within 2 months or something. And that's an example of the money kind of working in the background, because I just had to send the money off. I don't have to do anything. 2.5 months later, I get, 20% back, which isn't bad at all, and I didn't have to do anything for it. But this is why
bust up any walls or install carpet.
Yeah.
Clean up cockroaches. Oh gosh.
So that's why I always talk about, I think, trading is the best way to generate those sums of capital. And then from there, you can really experiment with the things you put it on. But if I had to kind of summarize the point that I'm making here, it would be really focus on active income, first of all, because you need stuff that is paying you for your time, because it would be the dream to just only have passive income and start from the beginning and immediately have enough passive income that you can support yourself. But it's not really realistic, I don't think, to have that first, right from the get-go, only passive, because you need some income to put in the first place in order to actually make it generate some money for you.
The old saying, money makes money. Will make you money. The more money you have, the more capital you have, the more things that you're able to start investing in and try and find ways to have it return it to you. But like you're saying, you can't just go in and expect to get paid dividends from owning stocks if you don't have the money to own the stock.
Exactly. So an active income source, which
100%.
would typically be a job.
We have all said this multiple times, like you should always keep a source of income coming in. I think it's all three of us could agree. And none of us would ever tell you otherwise. Like you shouldn't just cut off whatever your stream of income coming in is and just be like, oh, I'm going to day trade now. That's a really poor idea. That's like literally falls under horrible risk management for me. Like that would be like the worst risk management you could do is don't do that, because now you're putting that pressure on yourself to perform in a way when you probably aren't ready to perform yet. Give yourself time, keep a main stream of income coming in, allow yourself to get comfortable, and then start using that income to replace, like what you're saying, smaller income even coming in. Then you can start stepping away from that primary source. And that's the way I think each of us has kind of gone about doing it. Arty,
Yeah,
maybe a
definitely.
little more reckless.
No, I'm crazy with my money. I can't let it sit for 5 seconds.
Yeah,
I probably should.
I
But
think Brutus and I are a little more reserved when it comes to how we invest, from what it sounds like, and a little more like traditional and cautious. Arty, also though, really cool stuff that you do, but a little more risky for sure.
yeah.
Although I will say, I'm going to use this as a shameless plug here in the middle of the podcast, that we do have Brutus's crypto course coming out on December 1st. So if you guys are interested in crypto, and Brutus is a hardcore pusher and lover of crypto, XRP is
XRP.
XRP is his baby. He's constantly talking about it and wanting to invest in it. So if you guys are interested in crypto, definitely go check that out December 1st in the community. We will have another course in there for that. And December is the perfect month, in my opinion, to like get into crypto. Not because it's a good month to trade crypto like specifically, but because the rest of the markets are kind of slowing down, but crypto is always moving. So for those of you who cannot sit still during the month of December and all that, if you're struggling with the basic pairs because the banks and stuff are starting to get a little wonky, they're getting a little bit weird because of the holidays, crypto is like a good time if you're going to like get interested in it. Spend that month learning about crypto and take the course, kind of play around with it a little bit, because that market will still be moving slowly, but it will be still moving during the holidays and all that stuff. So you guys can kind of practice on your demos and stuff. But anyhow, that was my shameless plug for the crypto course coming up, guys. So check it out. Arty, do you want to kind of talk a little bit about what you do?
Yeah.
Sorry, Brutus, is there anything else that you do? I feel like we got stocks, dividends, YouTube, property,
Stripper.
trading. Obviously, you do a TTF. Like what else?
Well, so you know what I think I've done really, really well actually, was those kind of insane months of 2020 and 2021 when you could buy anything and it would go up. I actually positioned myself really nicely in the way that, you know, I made a good amount of money, sold it, and just waited. So now I've got a lot of capital to start deploying in different areas. You know, because I think another thing about investing, or just how to manage your money, is knowing when to be liquid and when to be more kind of, you know, like asset heavy. So I was basically, I'd say 95% liquid up until kind of, you know, this summer. And now I've even got some gold, for example. I've got a Rolex.
The Rolex thing I will let you get into talking about, because this was like news to me. I'm not a huge watch fan. You guys, I don't like wear the watches, but Brutus is definitely a watch lover. And I thought this is kind of a cool thing when I heard what he was doing with this, and like just how like you can make money doing like all kinds of goofy stuff. So go ahead and talk about Rolexes.
Well, yeah, I mean, so essentially if you can't just you can't walk into a Rolex shop and just buy a Rolex straight from them. Most people are buying their Rolexes from a jeweler or like a second, I guess like a middleman. But if you put your name on the waiting list for a Rolex or for a luxury watch, and you actually manage to buy them at retail price, typically they are 50% cheaper than your, no, sorry. There is a 50% increase at the jeweler compared to the retail price of a Rolex. So what I mean is, so this one I'm wearing here, shameless plug, was 15,000, and from Rolex you can buy it for 10. So if you can actually manage to get yourself on the waiting list, it will take, you know, 6 months, a year of waiting. But if you can start buying these luxury watches at retail price, the second you walk out the door, you know, at minimum, you're kind of 20%, 50% in profit. Now, there are some kind of rules around, you know, so if you start selling them straight away, you would kind of get blacklisted and all this kind of stuff. But the point is if you can start accumulating them at some point when you've decided, okay, I've got enough now, or I'm not interested anymore, then you can sell them off, and each watch is probably 20 to 50% in profit. So with the way that the watch prices are coming down as well at the moment, it's a cool time to start looking at that. And it's one of those few things that you can actually enjoy as well, because if you have a stock or a crypto or something, you can't really enjoy that thing. But having some cool watches is very cool. So yeah, I think if I had to sum it all up, that's everything: stocks, crypto, social media, TTF, property, gold, watches, just about a bit of everything.
Let's be clear, like not just any watches, like
yeah.
And let's not forget your Mercedes. So like
Mercedes.
All right, so way to just like make everyone feel like shit there. No, I'm just kidding, guys. But what also is really notable is he's 21, which is insane. Like to be able to have made these kind of decisions, and all this has happened over the last few years for you. And I think, this world between trading and learning how to invest and all this stuff, like it wasn't just one thing. So a lot of people think, oh, just trading, but it's not. There was a lot of other decisions you've done and other outlets that you've gone through now to be able to make these investments and have these types of returns. And kudos to you, because at 21 I was not doing what you were doing. So
thank you.
Huge congratulations there, and super cool to hear what you're doing, because I did the watches is new to me. I thought that was really like a fun thing. Now I want a Rolex. Like I don't even wear them, and now I'm like, now I kind of want one.
Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah,
they're cool.
Get on the list.
Yeah, but congratulations, and thank you for sharing what you're doing. So
thank you. It's my pleasure.
Arty, let's hear from you, because everyone knows you're a YouTube sensation. That's pretty clear. But like, what else do you do? Because you kind of talk about stuff, but then I know you do other things and you don't share all of it. So what else?
Yeah, so I always was starving to get money. I was piss poor all the fucking time. And sorry for swearing so much. It's Gary V's influence. Now, so I always look for side hustles where I need money now. How can I make it now? Because every time you're in a slump in life and you got, a flat tire or whatever, bills come up and you somehow manage to pay it. And so I just focused on those random things. And so for a long time, I would just accumulate money because I was an Uber driver. So anytime I'd see a garage sale, I'd just go pick up some boxes of stuff and sell that stuff. And then I got into going to Ross, Marshalls, and TJ Maxx and arbitraging all of that stuff on eBay and Amazon. Just buy anything Adidas and Nike and you'll make a killing. So through that method, I was able to accumulate money and then ride share.
OG drop shipper. That's what you.
Yeah, right. That's exactly. Except I had to package boxes myself. And and then the Uber thing and all of those things, I wasn't spending any money. I was the one that figured out those Chipotle hacks where you can get the free tortilla and the free sides of stuff. And so my thing would cost $2. And so I would just accumulate all this money.
We will talk about that after the podcast. I don't know anything about this. Why am I?
Oh my God, there's so many good Chipotle hacks.
So we'll talk about it later, guys. We'll share.
And so through that process, I had a safety, and I always need to have the safety. I always have a big fat chunk of liquidity under me. I have to have it. I can't breathe without it. And then once I started getting cash flow and the liquidity, the stress completely melted away. And at my previous job, when I was working, I started day trading, and I was making some money. I lost a bunch, a lot of my liquidity that I had saved up. But then I started making money, and I was able to quit that job. And so the trading, it was my primary source of income. I'm completely crazy. And the second I saw the opportunity to leave my job, I did that. And I was just full-time trading. It was extremely stressful. And like Christy said, I don't recommend it. It's very, very, very poor risk management, because you're constantly stressing about it. You're like, I got to make this trade. I got to make this money. And you're forcing shit that you shouldn't force. But over time, that started to build up. I had a lot of crypto assets built up at the time. So I was shorting a lot of those on spot exchanges. So I was making a ton of money, like 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, one day. And then once the YouTube thing started to pop off, I mean, it took 6 months before I even got my first penny on that. But then it was so consistent, and I constantly had that cash flow. And then through that with affiliate links, it was just cash. It was one big chunk of cash flow and then tiny little subsequent cash flows under that. So it covered all of my expenses, like 10x all of my expenses. So I could just live this perfectly fine lifestyle, buying bikes and going on vacation. Nothing exuberant. I drive a Passat still. But as that grows, my liquid assets just started to build and build and build. And I was like, okay, I got to start doing something with this. And that's when I basically bought every single dip. So in crypto, price goes up, dip. Like the bull market, I bought every single dip. And now as it's going down, every time I see major news or whatever, and the price just crashes 5%, dip. Like I just buy. And so I'm just dollar cost averaging all the time. Every single week without fail, I buy cryptocurrencies. And so I don't really care what the price is because I know my average is way, way, way down. But lately, I've still had that liquidity or those liquid assets. And in Poland, it's really, really cool with real estate. I don't know if it's like this in the United States. But what I've been doing is when I go on my staycations, like in the country, we'll go to the mountains or this, lake or whatever, and they're building these huge, like complexes of apartments. It's not a hotel. It's like staycation apartments. And then that company rents them out. And then they have a cleaning service that comes in every day. But when they're building, they're looking for investors to finish off the project. Like they don't have the full capital to finish it off. And so you go in there, you look at the unit that you want with the best view or the one that you can afford, and you just buy it. And they finish off the construction. They design it how they've already had it in their plans. And then they rent it out for you. And then they clean it for you. And you never, ever have to see it. And if you want to, you can go stay there because it's yours. It's like buying an apartment in a vacation hotel. It's almost timeshare, but it's not. It's very common.
Yeah. So I don't know about, I don't want to speak for all of US, but I have something very similar to that. And you have hotel experience, and I actually did back in the day. So I used to work for a hotel. I didn't own one, but I used to work for one for a very long time when I was in my teenage years. And that was actually what they converted them to. That exact thing. It was a hotel that sold to these like condos and but each hotel room was a condo they converted, and each person had an owner. But then the hotel, like the people I worked for, still ran it and rented each of them for them. They made the money. They could time block off when they wanted to stay, if they wanted to stay there. But most of the time they just did it. You had a cleaning service that came in, linens, all that. Like it was like a very passive income, but you could have somewhere to stay if you wanted to, like during the times you wanted it, but you were the owner and you weren't timeshare hopping the way you do with timeshares where you have like, so yeah, similar.
It's like timeshare, but it's a physical location. Like that one, it's absolutely yours. You don't have to share it with anybody.
Yeah. So I like the idea that's so fun.
I know. And so because my parents, when they retired, they bought two condos and 2 houses and they rented them out.
Yeah.
Without fail, every 2 months, something would break. A water heater, dryer, anything. And so they would have to put in more money. So they're collecting $1,400, $1,500, $1,800 a month in rent, but then $800 for, a new water heater or $1,200 for a new washing machine. And it was the worst thing ever. And then you'd get notices from the homeowners association that the landscaping needs to get done. And it's all things on you, not your tenant. Like you forward the things to them and they need to take care of it, but they never do. And so it's a huge, huge headache with renting a house or an apartment. Yeah. But with these, it's you're making less money and less profit, but there's no headache. So right. I just know that they exist. And because I live in Poland, Christy, you're gonna laugh at this.
I laugh at the prices every time he sends me a property, you guys. Let me just say, like, Arty and I talk, so do us and Brutus. Like, we all talk, like, we're really all friendly. When he sends properties, like, my jaw drops because I'm like, how much? And I'm like, what? Like, the price of these amazing, gorgeous properties, like ridiculous properties, like, are literally, because I've shared this before, and obviously you can tell if you're from the United States, like I'm from New Jersey, and New Jersey is an expensive state to live in. Like what you buy here and get like and I mean like maybe like a 1 bedroom, like 2 or 3 bedroom house, small little house, very tiny property is more expensive than these like mega mansions, like huge acres of property that he showed me. And I'm like, I might have to go to Poland. Like it
It,
is gorgeous, the stuff that he finds, and it's so cheap. It's
and
crazy.
so I have three right that I've purchased. It was a while ago. It was like at the peak of the COVID thing. And so it was super cheap and nobody wanted to invest because everybody was scared.
Yeah.
And so I have three properties. Two of them are overlooking the mountains and one of them is overlooking the lake.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell
Oh,
you the
beautiful.
USD prices.
Yeah.
The USD prices. The first one was 25 grand. It's
But
like
let me put for reference. So like if you wanted to buy and flip a home here, like you would be for 25 grand, like if you could even find anything for 25
a
grand,
double wide, maybe
like,
in Tennessee.
Oh, no offense, Tennessee people. No, we love all of you. We love all of you guys. But no, it was just it's you would maybe I don't think I've ever seen anything for $25,000 for sale here. Like not even like a dilapidated in the like hood of the ghetto of the worst like slum ridden place, like nothing. And he's getting like lakes and mountains and like it's insane. They're beautiful and it's insane. It's absolutely insane to see. But
So the
worst.
next one is
100,000.
the next one was 50 grand. And then the most expensive one was 100 grand. And basically I used all of the money that I made from YouTube last year to do all of that.
Yeah.
Because I'm constantly getting cash flow and my bills are so low in this country. Like my living expenses would be the equivalent of, I don't know, a relatively crappy job, like 1,500 a month, like 6,000
Yeah. You're
Polish
pretty debt
currency
free now.
is
So
yeah.
like that was something I know you know the Artia didn't really talk about it in episode 1. But similar to how I had mentioned, like I had debt, like I had a lot of student loan debt and I had like a lot of home, you know, US people type of debt. Artie is actually from the US, but went to Poland, but then like had to restart life there. But like you had your home and stuff you guys mortgaged too. Like aren't you pretty debt free now? Like since I think like with your trading
Uh
your
I
life
have
expenses are
I
very
think I have like another 25% of the value of the place that we're living in now to pay off. And I don't want to pay
very
it off because there's like a penalty, but
mm,
the payments are like
dirt.
pocket change. There's pocket
So
change,
very
seriously.
low, like very low living costs. And like that's the thing I think for me to even like talk about like a big reason why I wanted to trade beyond making money. Everyone's like, oh, I didn't want to make so much money. Like, no, I wanted financial freedom and I wanted like time freedom. I wanted to have freedom. And for me, being debt free was my priority and having a very like not to like spend on waste all my money on Lambos and other bills and like end up accumulating more bills. I didn't want more bills because of it. I wanted, or more maintenance, things to maintain. I wanted to have a very low everyday costing life. So that way, when I want to splurge, I don't have to look at my bank account and be like, oh, do I have enough money? Like, or I don't have to sit there and like be like, can I afford this? Can I not afford this? Like, I don't have to worry about that now because my everyday life is so cheap. And that's like how Artie, I know you're that way. Like your family life, your everyday life, it's very cheap actually to maintain it. And that way, when you want these like things that we splurge on, we're like, we can do it.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of like something for me and you have a lot in common where we're not like you're in a facade, like you're not, although I saw something about a Tesla you might have ordered.
I did order
Okay.
it, but
All right.
that's
Well,
like
here we go.
that's in the future. I bought the Tesla not because I want to be a dude in a Tesla, but because the bus lane here also allows electric cars, and I don't have to sit in
That's all the reason. Just write that right
traffic. That's it.
No. But yeah, that's okay. That is a totally valid reason. But no, but as he's saying, you know, you got a nice car. You know, you guys got nice cars, you got nice things. They have nice things, but they're not anything super flashy or crazy. And for you, like you love nature, you love being outside, love biking and all that stuff. Like so, having these properties with these gorgeous views and mountains and bike trails and like water, like that was important to you. And I think that that's like awesome to show like there's a passion there. So like yes, you're doing YouTube, which you also have a passion for, and you're you know, you do trading, which you have a passion for, but like to have also investment properties and things in areas where like you you just genuinely like to be, like something that you actually enjoy. Like I think that's cool. And I think that's something that's also important for people to realize. Like you don't have to do stuff that's boring all the time that you're not interested in. Like
Yeah.
there's
A
things.
lot of people, they invest in real estate properties in like major cities and whatever because the volume is there. But like I'm investing in places where I just go and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And I'm staying here. Like, I wonder if that's for sale. And I'll just
Your
do it because
research
I'd love
guy.
to go there.
Do your
That's my market research. I'm catering to my own clientele.
no, but yeah, and then you know what, it's working for you right now, and you know, it's really cool to see. So yeah, real estate again, I think so. All three of us at some point have gotten into real
Um,
estate.
and since everybody's doing shameless plugs, I just want to show this last one off right here.
Let's do
This is the house that I'm currently, and this is the problem with my investment strategies. I never think about like, oh, maybe I should have a little bit more in, liquid assets because this opportunity presented itself and I'm not liquid enough to just buy it outright. So I have to go to the bank and get a loan. But this is what you can get in Poland.
Oh yeah, this one. I was like, don't send me the address already because I will snipe it up
Yeah,
right on
this house is on a piece of property that's 2.22 acres, and I think the house is like 2,500 square feet, and it's like 350 grand
She's like
US.
nothing.
Next to a national forest with thousands of bike trails.
That's super cool. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful. Though that picture's not doing it justice here on camera, guys, but it's really beautiful. But yeah, that's really cool. So you guys know like Arty's doing YouTube. He's got affiliates. He does that to a whole different level than myself and Brutus do. But you are good at it. Like, let's be for real. You're good at it. And that kind of, I guess, will bring me into me a little bit where I'm going to just talk about like, I do YouTube as well. So does Brutus. And as he said, like, we do make something, like, we are monetized technically, like on YouTube, but like, I'm not living my best life off my YouTube income, but I'm very well aware that I don't try all that hard on YouTube. Sorry, guys. It's just not my passion. And when I look at my investments, I look at like my time versus my energy versus my return. And I have so many other things that I was doing before I even started doing YouTube or starting doing community work like this. And those are already bringing me in returns. So I wasn't going to cut those things. And those were very little work now because I've built them up. So YouTube has been a very big learning process. Already knows because I was like, I don't know how to do anything. So I've had to learn how to edit. I've had to learn how to record. I still haven't even figured out lighting, as you can tell, because I'm casting shadows everywhere, as Arty has pointed out to me. You know, I try to an extent, but at the end of the day, like I truly do trade. My main income comes through my trading, and then I have other things that I do. So when it comes to my other income things, some of the things, I mean, I do a lot of different things, but some of the main things, obviously real estate is one that we've all talked about. Another quirky thing that I do that I forgot that I never talk about is ATM machines.
I heard about that you
Uh,
have ATM machines.
yeah, so I own ATM machines, and people, I guess, don't realize that I own them. I never really, I guess it's something so passive now for me that I don't really ever remember either. It just kind of like comes through the money. But ATM machines. So I'm assuming globally, I don't want to speak for other countries, but here in the US, you have an ATM machine, you know, the machines you get your money out of, and there's a convenience fee charged for them if you don't go to your like bank that you bank with. So they will charge you a convenience fee. And you know, they put them in convenience stores, and I have a couple in casinos, which I was like, that was a really smart place to put them. And they charge convenience fees. So I had spent time like researching this and looking it up, and I own ATM machines where, you know, the little armor trucks, the money trucks, they come, they fill it, they do all that for me. I get to keep the convenience charge, but then obviously I have to pay the trucks, and I have people I have to pay, the stores or wherever my machine is being hosted at. But I still do get to keep a decent amount of the surcharge. So every time somebody pays, most of my machines are about $2.99. That's the convenience charge that they charge. So every time somebody takes money out, I make $2.99 off of that transaction, and then, you know, whatever percentage I had to pay to the people to keep the machine maintenance or to have the store keep it in their place. But basically, everybody takes a little piece of the pie, and then I'm
Can
left.
you just give me like a
But
rough
rough
rough estimate? How many machines monthly net? Just approximate.
Some are in touristy areas, so they do better during tourist months. But they do really well during those months. So it like makes up for the months where they're slower. Other ones are in convenience stores that are just like always kind of having people come through. But on average, each machine averages about 1,500 to 2,000 a month.
Awesome.
And it's taken me time.
Go steal all of Chris.
I'm not telling you where you're gonna go and be like, I'll give you a lower fee. No, but you guys, it really was like a bizarre thing. It was a learning experience for me, but it was something where like somebody told me about it and I was like, huh, you're right. Like somebody makes that money. Like, like there's so many goofy things you can do when you start looking around at like all the things you probably pay a fee for or convenience to, and you're like, just start thinking about it in your head. Be like, who makes that money and how can I make that money? That's like how I started looking at it. Because I feel like real estate can be overwhelming. Not everyone's interested in it. ATMs was a weird thing for me to get into, but I'm more than happy with the income I make from it now. It does have its ups and downs. You do have to have some capital to get started with it because you do have to purchase the machine. You do have to have like enough money to put into it. You can look into it, guys. The other big thing that I think a lot of people do lately is drop shipping. Now, I don't personally do this, but I know other people do drop shipping. And I feel like everyone's doing it.
Can
So,
I add a caveat on that? Because I did drop shipping for a while.
okay, yeah. I mean, you were the OG. I already talked about it.
Yeah. So I've done everything from affiliate marketing to like literally washing people's cars for money, detailing work. So I did drop shipping and it is amazing once you figure it out. But the issue is you cannot stop figuring it out. The market is it is saturated. When people say it's oversaturated, it's saturated. It's not oversaturated because there's always like dumb things that get invented by Alibaba or AliExpress that sell like crazy. So you have to find a winning product. And once you find that winning product, you have to find the winning ad set and you have to pay Facebook ads and just like constantly test ads. But once you have a winning ad and a winning product, you will generate thousands upon thousands upon hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on how much you're spending on ads, because it's all about your conversion rate. But once an other competitor gets wind of that, they will find that product, copy your ads exactly, and undercut you. And then your product is dead and you got to go find another one. And it's the testing and the finding and the ad spend and the constant A/B testing of your different ad. Like it's a pain in the ass. It's great money if you figure it out. But just be prepared that you're constantly working on it. And that's why all these gurus about drop shipping are on YouTube, because they did it and then they got undercut by somebody else. And they're like, fuck, I'll just teach people how to.
So I wanted to say that. I want to say disclaimer here is that I don't personally do it. Arty has, which is thank you for your input on this. And I was going to say, just be careful because so many people have asked me personally about this. Like people, I guess, assume maybe I do it and I don't need to drop ship. Again, I've been doing this for years now. So like these things are all things that have taken me years and years to kind of like accumulate as far as like side hustles. Drop shipping, it was around, I guess, back when I started like looking into investments and things like that, but not quite the way it is now. And again, the work to like time to ratio, like how much work do I have to put in to make back a reward? Like when I think about dropshipping, I'm like, for me personally, at this point, I have too many other things that I am managing to like take on something like that. I'd rather give my time to the community or something like that where I feel like it's better used than like drop shipping. But for somebody who is brand new, has nothing but time maybe to look into this, definitely find that product like Arty's saying. You are going to have to spend some time on it, but that's anything that you're starting. So I want to just say, be prepared to do the research, be prepared to be doing a job. Like you have to look at this. You're going to be like an entrepreneur. You need to treat this like a true job. Like it takes time, energy to build. Like Arty said, his YouTube, he does fabulous now with it. But that took 6 months before he ever even seen a dime from them. And that was in the dark.
And I was actually thinking about this analogy earlier. Go work at your normal job and don't get paid for 6 months. Are you willing to do that?
Right.
Hell no. But if you just tweak your mindset a little bit and like think about the kids with the marshmallows and like, don't eat that one and later you'll get a reward. Don't eat the marshmallow right now. Just work your ass off for 6 months to a year on something. And I promise you, you can pull the fruit off of that tree later.
Yeah. That is how you should look at this type of stuff when we're talking about other investments and things like that. Do not think it's going to be a fast return at all. It's really not. I don't think any of my projects have been, and we're all really hard workers. Brutus has fallen off the call on purpose, you guys. Just FYI, we did not just totally like ignore that.
We banned him.
We did not. Let me just let you guys know he is off the call on purpose. He has a lecture to attend. So thanks again for coming on before his lecture that he might now be a little bit late to. But anyhow, we're all really like big workers, hard workers. We're willing to build. And that's something that you have to be willing to do in your head. Like whatever project is you decide to start working on or whatever route you decide, don't expect to get paid. Like Arty said, make sure it's something you're passionate about that you can say like, am I willing to give this like a true 6 months to a year to ever even potentially see returns? And if you're not, then maybe that's not the route you should be going. And even then you might still fail. Like you may still fail even. It might end up being a flop. So don't overinvest money that you don't have to lose either. Don't put all of your life savings into something if you can't afford to potentially fail at it. But yeah, so that's kind of stuff we've been doing. I will say Jay is not on the call, but I will represent Jay. He is new to this. He's still learning how to start doing these things. And Jay has followed my advice, and not my advice.
ATM machines.
No. He was pissed that I didn't tell him about that. I was like, I don't know. I don't tell you everything I do. I was like, but anyway, he knows that I am a fan. I'm a basketball fan here in the U.S. We have the NBA and we have all kinds of sports. So I don't know where you guys are in other teams where you guys live and whatever countries. But here you can buy like season tickets, like to all the games that your favorite team might be playing. And you can buy them from the venues that host those teams, like wherever they play at their home stadiums. And you can buy them up front for the year and then you can resell them. There's things like Ticketmaster or SeatGeeks here where you then own those seats for all those games, but you can then flip them. You basically turn it around. So for a game that might be like higher, maybe a big player is coming into town or something like that, or maybe there's some drama or trades or something happen during the season, you can sell those tickets for some pretty substantial money and end up making money back. So this is something I personally enjoy. Like I'm a huge fan. I love the 76ers. That's like my team here. And I love that kind of stuff. So I love going to the games and all that. So I was like, season tickets make sense when you're talking about like investments. So like personally, I get to enjoy it for the games I want to go to. But like also there's that ability to like turn it around and make profit off of it. Not a huge thing, but and Jay started doing this where he lives. He's got Pelican tickets now. So he's new to it. It's a little frustrated. It's definitely a little frustrated because it's a learning experience. Like I said, 6 months or so to a year, you want to kind of give something a chance. But as of right now, like he's kind of getting to experience what that's like to start like doing this, where you have to like learn how to like manage the games and manage what's going on and like what's the right price. And but getting to see that like there's times where those tickets, like you'll make more money and all you're doing is taking something that you bought a little bit cheaper and are selling a little bit higher. It's literally trading, but you're doing it with your tickets. Like you want to buy low, sell high. It's the same idea. So
That's the concept with everything.
Yeah, and that's kind of something else that we do, which is like a little bit different, I think, than just like the typical stocks. Obviously, I mean, I have stocks too. I do get paid dividends. Like there's things coming from everywhere, like we said now. Crypto, I do have, but
I'm gonna share a little bit of a life hack with you guys. I did this last year, and it's the freaking coolest thing ever. You know how they tell you if you start saving at age 18 and you just save 10% of your income and dollar cost average into like an S&P fund, like the Vanguard fund, and by the time you're old, you'll have millions of dollars. I didn't start when I was 18. I started last year, but I did one fat chunk of $250,000.
So you caught up for all your years.
Exactly. But I did it for free. Ready? It depends on where you live. Not every country has this. You can do it in the United States, I'm pretty sure. You get a life insurance policy for $1 million. You buy it, and then you borrow against it. And I can get 25% of the value of it. So I got $250 or $250,000, and I just Vanguard fund, and that's gonna 9 to 11% a year for me compound.
Nice.
My
So
retirement's done with
you guys see, there are all kinds of tricks out there, and you just learned a bunch of silly ones from us and then smart ones too. But that is a genius idea. I didn't even know you could do that.
dude.
But
I just looked for like money hacks. I found a
yeah,
bunch.
make sure
100%
you're
is.
doing your research. Yeah, like don't expect a fast return on any of it, but it just really start looking at like how can you start having these investments? How can you start making having your money make you money? You don't want to. What I would say is try not to settle to just be like, oh, well, I just want to live off my trading money. That's it. A lot of people think that that's all we do, and we don't. We don't only do that because that pressure to perform then really does get to you, and it really does mess with you mentally. There is such a I don't know. I mean, like, Artie, you'll know this. Like, there's just such a relief you have when you're trading that, like, when you take losses, you're like, whatever. When you know that it doesn't matter that you have to make that money now.
Yep.
And I think all of us, when we started, you always had to make the money. You're like, I have to make this.
That's why I say this in like every fifth video. I absolutely hate day trading. I learned it so that I can make money, and then I thought about other ways that I can make money. And now when I need to like buy a vacation or a new bike, I just trade a little bit, make the money, and then I just don't touch it. Christy's way better at it than I am, and she can do it and like make tons and tons of money. I still don't listen to my own rules. I make mistakes constantly. I know like the theory and everything, but I hate day trading. I hate
But
waking
you've
up in the
managed to
morning.
find a way to like make it work, even though you don't listen to your rules and stuff. So there's
Oh,
hope
it's
for
so
everyone.
irritating. I in retrospect, after the day's over, and I'm like, mistake, mistake. Oh, that one was good. I should do that every time. Mistake, mistake. It's fucking rampant.
But the beauty of it is, though, I've watched Artie grow as a trader because I've known him for a while now, and like yeah, he still makes the same mistakes. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, a few weeks ago, he's just like, I don't even know what we are talking about. But I was like, what are you doing? You're not even following your own rules. Like, what are you doing? And he's like, I don't know. Like, we all struggle. Like, we all do. Even me, like, I do struggle. And I'll be open about it, actually. I was just venting to Jay yesterday that, because my personal life is really busy this last week or so. Some of you know, I have a grandmom who just had to have surgery. So, like, as one of the nurses in my family, even though I don't currently work as a nurse, like I just don't know what I'm doing. I've obviously been one of the ones helping her out and taking care of her and like helping. She has 2 little dogs. I had her 2 little dogs. I have a little dog, so it just became like 3 little dogs running around. It's just like so many things going on recently. This past week, I had real estate things going on that I won't get you guys involved in, but there was just like a ton of stuff going on. So I've been forced, because I'm in strategy wars, I've been forced to trade. And like I had to wake up the last couple of days, like, and trade pre-opening, which goes against my rules. So I'm super annoyed because I'm very rule based. Unlike Artie, who would have been like, ah, it's fine, I'm just gonna wing it. I have been like, my whole day has been kerfuffled. Like the rest of the day is like I was a mess. And I was like, it's because I traded pre-open and like I managed to pull out wins. I actually took my first loss so far this month. I was still profitable for the day, but I did take a loss and I knew it. And I was so mad at myself because I was like, I was right. I took a loss. This is like TMI, but like US 30 and NAS just dropped yesterday. And I was right in my pre open analysis. But of course, inevitably it went up, it wicked, grabbed some liquidity, and then dropped. And I just was in too soon. I didn't put a big enough of a stop loss. Well, because in my head, I was just like I wasn't mentally there to trade yet. And like it's not good to do those things. Like I was breaking my own rules. I was forcing myself to do something. But I do find it frustrating when I love to do something and I'm finding myself annoyed doing it. And I was annoyed the last couple of days. So I was like, all right, like I need to like reset coming up. And I take December off. So I know I have December coming up. So I'm trying to be like, all right, be a good sport about it. But of course, I'm like an all-star for my team this week. Like I have to provide for my team. So it's all worked out. But it's like if you're not mentally in the right place, you want to be able to take that time away. So do as I'm saying, not as I have done this week. It's not smart to force trades, but even me, who is really good at it and I'm very disciplined, I will struggle to turn that off when I need to, or like I get frustrated even same as Arty, like I still struggle. And it's a real thing that will always happen no matter how far you guys get into it. But I don't suggest pushing yourselves to do something if you're not enjoying it or you need time away. This is why you should have multiple streams of income coming in. You don't want to force a situation because that's when you'll get frustrated and you'll make mistakes in your trading. And even though you might have been right all along, you still might mess up like I did yesterday. Like I messed up and I was still right in my overall analysis. I just was forcing a trade in a situation at a time that I knew I shouldn't be doing it. And like that will happen if you're so emotionally invested or you're have to. I hear people all the time be like, I have to, I have to, I have to. Like, this is my only hope. This is the only chance I had. And it's like, if you're doing that, you're going to struggle. You are going to struggle because the emotions are just too high. Having other streams of income will definitely help you guys to like shut that I have to thing off and kind of just relax and just like, all right, I took a loss. It's okay. Take a couple of days off. Maybe you had a bad day. I'll come back to it when I'm ready. That's my whole rant about it, guys. But yeah, I appreciate you coming on, Arty, and talking about it. I know you've been doing this for a little bit now, for a couple years, and you've definitely done well. Brutus is kind of newer, but his like in the last 2 years is definitely, as you guys have heard, it's really like gone out of his comfort zone and like pushed in different areas. Jay is a baby, and he's not on to kind of talk about it. He's a baby investor, but is just starting to get like in it now. Finally, after like a year, 2 years, he's been trading now for 2 years, profitable for about a year, and is starting to like have enough of that liquid capital to start being like, what do I want to do? Where do I want to put this money? And that's, you guys are all going to be at different levels. So take your time when it comes to doing this stuff.
One word of advice I have for you guys, don't always go for the glamour businesses because the money is really made in the recurring businesses like reusable toothbrush head replacements. People constantly have to buy that every month, 3 months. No, just whatever you're investing in. Like if you're investing in a company or a business, you know, be an investor in Philips. Like it's replacement light bulbs, whatever. Start a vending machine business. Like drop vending machines in huge apartment complexes. You'll make a killing. Sam's Club will help you. Trash businesses. Pretty much everybody that owns like a private jet in this country, where like I can charter it out, is some sort of waste management family that's been in it for a century. And they have 12 jets.
I don't know, Arty,
because they take out trash.
Here in New Jersey, when we talk about your families in waste management, it doesn't mean what you're
saying. 86 of do you know what,
yeah.
do you know what the term 86 means?
Isn't that
it was made in Las Vegas. When you 86 somebody, you take them 8 miles out, 6 feet under.
Oh, that's where I mean, I knew what 86 mean, like, you're done. But like I didn't know how. So 8 miles out, 6 feet under.
In Las Vegas, in the desert, 8 miles out, 6 feet under.
Wow, we are just full of useless information for you guys today on this episode. That's awesome. That's a fun fact. I did not know that. Thank you. Wow.
I'm full of those. I'm a dad.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right. Well, anyhow, I think I'm out of suggestions and ideas. I gave my rant about being careful about what you guys decide to do, but just being open-minded and look around. I mean, you are in the age of the internet. There is literally, the possibilities are so endless at this point. Like never in my wildest dreams, because Arty and I don't want to say we're old, but we're a little bit older. Like I remember pre-internet times. Like not that we're prehistoric necessarily, but I remember before people were able to like have full on like work from home jobs and stuff like this. And like I never as a child ever imagined that I'd be able to have this type of job that I have, like work for myself, set my own schedule, have my own availability. Like it's a dream. It really is. And I'm so grateful for it all the time that like this skill is available to retail traders now. Like if it wasn't for that, like I never would have had all these other possibilities that have opened up for me. And it is all due to the internet. So like there's so many things beyond even just like trading that are out there for you guys to do. Look around. Like there's just, the possibilities are endless for real. And you don't all have to be YouTubers like Arty. Like, there's so many other things, like, or you don't have to be perfect day traders like me. You could just be a decent enough day trader, or a decent enough YouTuber, or maybe a decent
I
drop.
mean, if you do want to go into YouTube, December's a perfect month since you're not going to be trading. Just make 3 videos a day for the entire month of December and do it in whatever you're super interested in.
You
There's
guys,
going to
it
be
makes
some
it sound
pools there.
so easy. He told me the same spiel too. Just make like this and this and this, and like it's so easy. And I'm like, this is like 12 hours later. I'm still sitting here confused. Anyhow, Arty is you're a natural. You are very good at what you do. You are passionate about creating videos. You enjoyed making content, so it made sense for you to go that avenue. For me, I know my limits here. I'm no YouTube producer, but I know that I'm good at
Her ATM machines make more money than my YouTube channel, so don't listen to me.
And again, the time, energy, effort. Like, why am I going to waste time trying to grow a channel? I'm happy to have all of you here, by the way. Thank you, all of you who do subscribe. So please do keep subscribing and watching, and I appreciate it. And I do make the content because I love to be able to like show you guys how I'm trading, what I'm doing. But as far as like creating like cute little clickbaity videos, probably not really my thing. The podcast is about as far as I go. But you guys get the idea here. We're just trying to give you guys some information about looking at other alternatives, spending December, looking at like what could you do, get your trading in order. We'll talk a little bit more in the next episode with you guys. Next week we're going to be off, so episode 12 will be in 2 weeks. We are taking Thanksgiving off. Jay and I are here in the US and we do celebrate it, so we will not be podcasting next week. It's a short week for us. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you guys celebrating out there, and we'll see you guys the following week. So that week we will talk to you guys. That is the last week of November, and we will talk to you guys a little bit about how do we prepare for December. What is the community going to be doing, which we will be doing some fun things. So don't worry, we're not all disappearing on you. We're still going to be in the community, and we have lots of fun like giveaways, cute festive things that we'll be doing throughout the month, and kind of focusing a little bit more on how to get yourselves prepared for the new year, like how to go into 2023 in your best way you can, like getting your back testing updated, like going through your analytics, going through your data. Maybe you want to start a side hustle business, like starting the research, spending that month, like really kind of getting yourselves together. So that way, when 2023 starts, like you're ready, you're good to go, holidays are over, and now you're like set up in a good place. And that's typically how most day traders and like entrepreneurs I know spend December. Arty, I think you're pretty much last 2 weeks of December, right? Or are you all December this year? Are you like taking all December off now?
I don't know. I'm probably gonna get into the crypto markets a little bit because what I should do is focus on the house that I want to buy.
I don't know. I feel like don't ever ask me for advice on crypto, guys. My wallet's like down. I am a long-term holder, and I will hold. I'm holding. I am that gift that's like hold, like I'm that person, right? But man, it looks so sad every time I look at it. Every time they send me an alert, it's just the arrows down, and I'm like, yikes, that's hard. So I am done spending on it. I'm done investing in it for a little bit. I will wait and see what happens. But Arty loves dips, and as you guys have heard, Brutus also loves to buy XRP like nonstop. So yeah, there's definitely potential there with crypto. It's not really something I've gotten into as far as like day trading it, but I know the guys, if you guys have questions about it, definitely can get into it. And the course is coming up on December 1st, so definitely look into that too. And anything else, Arty?
I think that's it.
All right, you guys. Thank you for tuning into this episode and listening to us just bantering. We learned fun facts today, and I'm excited to see you guys in 2 weeks. Happy Thanksgiving to those of you guys who are celebrating. To those of you who aren't, happy Black Friday sales.
Ooh.
Make sure if you're in the community that you guys kind of listen out. We'll make an announcement about some of the top places you guys can go to get some really good deals on Black Friday for your trading stuff, because some of the stuff goes like really on sale. So make sure you guys are checking out or looking out for that announcement, because we'll be giving you guys some Black Friday tips, stuff that we ourselves use and buy to help save some money with your trading expenses. So that is it, you guys. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.